Some moments are profound. Pivotal moments are such important moments of our life, sometimes that have the capacity to change the entire trajectory of our life. In this series titled Pivotal Moments, I come to you with my experiences of such life-changing events and moments from my coaching world. In our session today, I will be taking you to a journey with me. This is a story about John and a difficult choice that took John to various pivotal moments in his life and how he overcome them. Meet John. He's an IT professional and has a total work experience of 7+ years. Today, John is stuck between a difficult choice he has to make, which is costing him dearly. The story goes 7 years ago when John has joined this organization in a capacity of a programmer. And later on, after 3 years into the function, had moved and shifted himself into another department when he found an interesting opportunity in the Department of Analytics. Currently, John, having finished his 7 years of work experience in a same organization, is going through a difficult period because he had moved from one function to another, and in this moment had gained a bit of experience as a programmer and also a little bit of experience as a person with analytics. Now, putting it all together, when he sums up his experience, it comes to 7+ years of work experience. However, with 7 years, as John finds himself moving into a bit of team leader or a mid-manager level position, he finds that he lacks relevance. Why? Because when he checked out the job descriptions or even at times some of the job role demands which seek in-depth experience, John found that he lacked that in either of the departments he had worked in. So he was not a specialist or somebody with an expertise in being a programmer. Similarly, he also had not so much of in-depth experience being a person working with analytics. This then put John into a situation where he never thought he would get into. This confusion did not just stay there. He never felt so confused as to what he should do next in life, because a small trigger after his performance appraisal, when he started to test the market and look for a job, he realized some very bitter truths which he was unaware of so far till date. He found that everywhere he went and the recruiters he spoke to or the job portals he was applying to, he was not really getting through to the roles that he really wanted to get into. And many a times the reason cited was lack of relevant work experience. This was not just that one decision, but an outcome that he was caught up in on account of his wrong choice and approach he made 7 years back, when without any forethought he moved and shifted functions without realizing what will be the long-term consequences of such a decision. His confusion turned more intense when he found that even after several months of search, his resume, his profile was not really getting selected in any of the openings he wanted to get into. This left him with all the emotions that you see here: frustrated, confused, anxious, fearful, and even uncertain. He now began to catastrophize his thoughts, thinking How long will he go on like this, looking for a job of his choice while he was finding nothing at all? His inner chatter further confused him and took a toll on his current work productivity. His performance suffered. Not just that, this also had an impact way back in his personal life, where he was getting a bit disengaged with his family as well. He was in constant conflict with his spouse, who he did not really had shared the truth of where he was into a situation like this on account of what he was into. So he kept a lot of things to just himself, and it was showing up now. He used to get irritated with his children. A person who would feel spending quality time with family was now trying to find escape from his family. Having reached this situation, John felt trapped. He felt a lot of emotions at the same time. And one of his friends suggested to him to seek help through a coach, a life coach to be precise. And this is how I met John, where during our discovery session, John shared his story with me from the very beginning and the many errors that landed him in where he was today. But the best part was John was somebody who was committed and willing to change. So one of the best things we did in this coaching assignment with John, which went on for 5 months, and it began with helping John first of all understand where exactly he went wrong. So friends, sometimes we may just on a whim or on some kind of curiosity or excitement, we really want to explore new things. But little do we realize that they can land us up into troublesome situations the way John was in. So one of our goals during this coaching was to assist John find out what really caused him to shift. Where exactly did he go wrong the very first time when he was doing really well in programming, and what made him really quit that and move to a different department? Having found those truths, John found himself a completely new insights about his own inner self. And not just that, he also understood that there were similar behaviors he had exhibited even in his personal space, where he would take decisions on a whim, on excitement, on curiosity, without a proper forethought to it. The second most important part of this coaching assignment that we did together also assisted John with a technique to help him understand the long-term consequences of his decisions. Something very critical. Oftentimes, we may have to choose, and desperate times lead to desperate measures. However, in case of John, lacking that long-term view was now a cause of a lot of stress for him, which had cascaded down to his family, to his role, to his present productivity at work, and his growing anxiety about an uncertain future that he sees for himself. So in our coaching for that 5 months we did together, one of the key things that John learned along with me was the ability to use some of the tools that helped him understand the holistic picture. Besides that, what are the long-term consequences of any decision that we take? So how do we really get to see that? It's not rocket science, it's really simple, and that really also helped John look at his own life in long term. And having been very convinced about what he was about to get into is only when John felt a bit more confident in arriving at a decision. So, in a summary or in a nutshell, these are the three things that John and I together worked into our coaching assignment, which began with John understanding exactly what really landed him in here in this situation. This was something that I wanted him to do because so that he does not repeat this, because he did mention in his personal space exhibiting the same behaviors, and because of which he had landed himself in deep trouble. So I taught him a technique which would really help him understand how he could, from the trigger itself, control and not really get into a situation like this. The second thing that John found as a result of this coaching was the method that he could apply to find a solution if at all one landed up in such a situation. And finally, the most important one was the long-term consequence, the cascading effect it had on his family, his individual self, and also to the future that he now found uncertain. So the most important takeaway for John was the ability to know, arrive at a future point, validate his thoughts, understand the pros and cons if in case whatever direction he chooses, and then finally go ahead and take that decision. So friends, if any of you resonate with the story, or perhaps you come across people very similar to John who you think can be benefited and can be helped and assisted through coaching, helping them find their way out of the conundrum they are in, these are my coordinates where you could reach out to me directly, and we will embark on a journey helping people, assisting them find clarity and direction in life. Thank you.